Welcome to Viviendo Life Podcast, number 7. We're on number 7 now. How do you feel?
Feeling good, yeah.
Doing good. Number 7 right now. We're actually going to talk about something today that we've been trying to talk about for the last 2 podcasts, and we just haven't got around to it because our topics have been intensive and we basically go off topic a lot. So, but today we want to talk a little bit about travel. We want to talk about places we want to go, places we want to visit. And then the second thing we're going to talk about is money, because you need money to visit all these places. Like to travel in the world. That's a question for you.
I would really like to go. Me encantaría ir a Costa Rica. Me gustaría ir también a Belice. Me gustaría ir también creo que los dos queremos ir a New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand is Suiza?
No, it's totally different places.
Switzerland
is different than New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah. New Zealand and Australia, they say they have a lot of like wild animals. So like you'll see scorpions, snakes near houses. Australia, they say it's really crazy.
Australia creo que es así.
Yeah. I don't know if it's New Zealand, but it's funny because us Americans, nosotros americanos, we think across the world and we're just like, we have no clue what's going on across the world. We don't even know what they speak in New Zealand. Nova Zealandians speak New Zealand language, I guess.
I think. ¿No hablan inglés? Dice que New Zealand hablan inglés. English is the most widely spoken language in the country.
So they do speak English in New Zealand. I guess we'll have to check it out. The reason why we're going to go to New Zealand is because of TikTok. Yeah, TikTok pretty much shows us everything in life. TikTok showed me a video of how they're go-karting down the mountain. It looks really cool. You go in these carts and you race against other people. But I feel like that would be one place that I would need some competitiveness in. Like whenever I get in a go-kart, I get competitive. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like I would get competitive with whatever New Zealand guys that are out there. I feel like I would get really competitive with them.
Is that where they played rugby?
I think they played rugby, and that's another thing we're gonna have to Google right now. I think it's in England, Britain, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see where rugby is primarily played. I'm pretty sure it's played somewhere in Europe. Rugby. So rugby is played in Great Britain, Ireland, France, Germany, Georgia, South Africa, Argentina, Italy and Uruguay, Canada, United States, and Japan. I guess rugby is played everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not just
in
played
Canada
in
también?
New Zealand. Yes.
Oh, that's pretty
It's
cool.
also played in Canada too, so that's oddly enough weird.
Me pregunto dónde nació, though.
Great. Now that's another thing we have to Google. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rugby is one of those games that we definitely don't play enough here in the States. So
yeah, porque aquí nunca lo he visto.
Yeah, it's funny how us Americans, nosotros los americanos, we're just so ignorant when it comes to things across the world, things that happen on a world base, unless you travel, that's one of the goals. And I read a quote about travel that I want to read here. It's called, in the core of man's spirit, that's where new experiences come from. So you learn, like every place you go to is a new learning experience. It's una nueva experiencia with new people, new cultures, different foods. I wonder what the food's like in New Zealand. That's a good question. I wonder what kind of like food.
Yeah.
Definitely probably not spicy. Who knows what they eat over there? We really don't know. That's why we want to go see. And I like to learn the language. I'm always asking people how you say like what's up in their language, or just something else, because it's cool to learn somebody else's language. It's cool to learn someone else's language. Like Haiti, it was, "San pase," which means what's up, something like that, right?
San Pase.
Then abule is like, yeah, nothing much kind of thing. So it's kind of cool.
¿A dónde te gustaría ir tú?
Yeah, well, we have New Zealand on top of the bucket list. But then we're also thinking about taking that travel trip to California, go check out the redwoods, and then the way back.
Pero a ti, ¿a
Big
dónde te
Bend
gustaría ir?
Yeah, just there. I mean, Japan would be cool too. Japan is like top technology, so they say it's really nice. How about? But you said New Zealand is where you would like to go.
Sí, me gustaría ir a Belice, Costa Rica. Me gustaría ir mucho a Costa Rica. Dicen que Costa Rica es bien bonito. Me gustaría ir a Costa Rica. Dice que Costa Rica se movió mucha gente para retirarse. Ahora Costa Rica es bien cara la vida, porque mucha gente se movió allá para retirarse. Pero definitivamente no sé por qué quisiera ir a conocer Costa Rica. Y sí, ¿verdad? Todos esos lugares que estamos hablando, ¿verdad? Suiza. Suiza es Switzerland.
Suiza is Switzerland?
Right? Y New Zealand es Nueva Zelanda, ya.
Is it?
Sí.
Oh, okay.
Ajá. Esos dos me gustaría ir a conocer también. Iceland.
How do you get Switzerland from Suiza?
Switzerland y Suiza.
Switzerland to Suiza. That makes no sense. How is the name so long in Spanish? I mean, in English.
Me gustaría ir a conocer Argentina y los Alpes.
Yeah, Alpines or stuff.
Ajá. Me gustaría ir a conocer Argentina, Perú. Wow, Perú, ir a ver, conocer Machu Picchu. That would be something else.
Yeah, es increíble. Like, I feel like como Machu Picchu, ya estando ahí, la manera que geográficamente está puesta esa ciudad, like it looks kind of like it's a mountain in between mountains. That looks cool. But I mean, no sería tan diferente de ver las ruinas de que fuimos a ver en Tikal, Guatemala. Have you been to Tikal?
No, fíjate que nunca he ido a
She's
Tikal.
never been to Tikal. I think I've been 3 times. I want to say 3 times.
That many times?
Like 3 times. Yeah, because la primera vez fuimos en camioneta a Petén. Después sí fuimos, yo creo que 2 veces digo a Tikal. Tikal. And it's beautiful. Ir a ver las ruinas y todo es beautiful. Me acuerdo que la primera vez que fuimos, todavía no subimos. We were able to go up.
¿Ah, sí?
Now you can't do that. Ahora ya no se puede. So
Ay,
it
no
was
se
cool to
puede.
go up because cuando mirabas ahí arriba, it was just basically a bunch of trees.
Sí, pues.
It's a bunch of trees y
Sí.
todo. But it's crazy how cuánta ignorancia tenemos nosotros de otros lugares del mundo. Cuando yo conozco a alguien de Nicaragua, de Ecuador, I'm just like, ¿tienen playa? ¿Tienen montañas? Like, ¿qué tienen en el landscape de su país? You know what I mean? Yo prefiero montañas, honestamente, because montañas are cool. Like, I feel like the montañas... Pero hay gente que no puede vivir ahí por las alturas, la afecta, ¿no?
Sí, por las alturas. Depende de verdad de la presión alta, presión baja que tengan de salud, ¿verdad? Pero me gustaría mucho ir a conocer estos lugares y tal vez me encantaría vivir en estos lugares así como por un año y medio y después moverme a otro país y vivir ahí un año y medio. Me encantaría para ver cómo... A mí me encanta eso de estar moviéndose. A mí me encanta. Yeah, we should go.
Which basically I married another version of my mom. That's my mom. My mom, she just likes to travel.
Yeah.
Le gusta ir a diferentes lugares. Like, I guess it's just like el explorador en uno, the explorer and so on, that likes to learn new cultures, learn different styles of living y todo. Pero conozco mucha gente que they just no están en paz en Estados Unidos anymore. They just want to leave. Y hemos dicho de los que están en Guatemala, Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, o sea, ya dije Guatemala, México, se quieren venir para acá y nosotros que estamos en Estados Unidos queremos irnos para allá.
Queremos regresar.
Yeah, we just want to go back because life is just so much different. Like, we're watching that episode of Marvelous Miss Maisel, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, and her mom took off to France, was living her life in France, and her dad went to rescue her. Well, the dad was loving France. I mean, it's so exotic. Es tan exótico ir a otro lugar, you know what I mean, and just be able to enjoy life just different, you know what I mean, than what we're used to here in the States.
Sí, tal vez la vida, bueno, no sabemos, ¿verdad? La verdad que no sabemos, pero aquí la vida en Estados Unidos es muy estresante.
Monótona.
¿Verdad?
Monótona.
Mo-
There's a word.
monótona.
Monótona.
No.
Now I'm trying to think myself. It's very... That word means like...
Monótona.
Monótona means like
No sé. Ya me
really
confundiste.
repetitive. It's repetitive. It's basically the word means repetitive. Very repetitive. You never heard that word?
Yeah, I've heard it, but
It's funny how in my spirit captures Spanish words, palabras en español, pero
yeah.
no sé decirlos.
Monotonous.
It's very monotonous. It's just basically like repetitive.
I need to go
over
out,
and
meet
over
new
and
people,
over.
and find new adventures.
Yeah, my life is very monotonous.
Monótono.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
if it in Spanish it's the same in English. I don't know if you know there's a word for that. But
Sí, definitivamente. I feel like la vida aquí en Estados Unidos es muy estresante. It's all about what people think about you. Work
impress.
your life up. Es muy estresante la vida aquí en Estados Unidos, pero, Dios lo tiene aquí a uno por un propósito, right? A tratar de pedirle al Señor que te ayude, ¿verdad? A no perderte en el propósito, ¿verdad? Pero definitivamente a mí me encantaría ir a vivir a otro lugar. Como te digo, ¿verdad? Un año aquí, un año allá, en bla.
Yeah, it would be fun. I think it would be cool. I know estamos in Texas because it was a winter snowstorm in Maryland with my brothers. We just decided we're like, let's find somewhere hot. And then you get days like today where it's cold, where it gets cold here. It's like the first Halloween that's cold, right? Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, for us, cold, by the way, if you live on the East Coast, we're talking about 60 degrees. Freezing.
I know people in the East are like, really? Really?
We're like,
It is cold for Texas.
That's not even cold. Like, if you're talking
Texas
cold.
is like if you're going, there's a cold front coming if it's in the 80s.
No, it's a estado de emergencia. It's like state of emergency.
It's a cold front.
They said that yesterday in Hacienda Meat Market they sold out of La Abuelita Chocolate.
Everybody's
basically
trying
the
to
coffee.
get
Yeah, everybody's trying to
chocolate
get
caliente.
like hot chocolate, and I got my Dunkin' in here right now. So yeah, everybody's trying to do that.
Feels
but
good outside. I love. ¿A ti te encanta el verano o te gusta el invierno?
Neither. I like spring. Spring is my favorite
Spring.
time. Everything's just colorful.
See, then we need to move somewhere
Everything's
where
gorgeous.
it's spring.
Yeah, Guatemala is el país de la
De la
eterna
primavera.
It's always springtime. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We should go. I wonder what other country is
I don't
famous
know,
for
they
its
have good
weather.
Like you're talking about, like, oh, I like to visit Chile and all those places, but all those places I've heard are cold. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I like the winter. I
Yeah.
love the cold. Me encanta el frío, pero que no esté nublado. You know, que esté frío afuera, pero que no esté nublado, que haga sol, así como hoy.
yeah, it's cold, but it's like,
It's sunny. Pero cuando está frío, está lloviendo afuera, y está nublado, you don't want to go out, no quieres ir afuera porque quieres estar en la casa, just, there. I mean, I don't mind that, pero me encanta cuando está frío y todavía puedes hacer cosas.
and it's interesting because a lot of the places around the world, they're either really cold or really hot, and global warming's throwing everything off. You're getting cold in hot places and hot cold places, right? So it's like, who knows now where to go, but we have to try to find. I've only heard that Northern California has great weather, 80 degrees all year long. I wonder if there's another place across the world that has that kind of weather. Who knows?
California, ¿te recuerdas cuando fuimos? ¿Qué fecha fuimos para lo de Miel San Marcos?
I think it was in June or July. June.
That's true, it was in July. It was in July.
Was it July 4th weekend?
No, fue cuando, maybe.
Probably
yeah,
was because you had vacation, right?
I think it was that, yeah. It was really cold. Cuando
And that
fuimos
worked
a
out
la
perfect.
playa,
That worked out perfect, right?
estaba frío.
Oh, it was cold there, yeah.
I mean, para nosotros estaba frío. It was cold. It was nice, though.
Yeah, California weather. I guess it starts off kind of cold and ends up real nice throughout the day or something. But
Like if you go up, in the hills.
the mountains, yes.
Yeah.
So.
If you go more towards that.
The thing is with travel, which is going to lead us kind of to our next topic, it all has to do with money. Like anybody that travels here in the States, normally, like if they're just living paycheck to paycheck, they're getting in debt when they travel. You know what I mean? So obviously, money is one of those things that it's a tool that can be of great resource. Like when they're older, that's one thing that I would like for us to do, is travel. And it's just like, it's such a goal that in this country feels like it's so far-fetched, but might be the limitations in my mind. But at the same time, it feels so far-fetched, you know what I mean? Like I remember people in Canada, they would take months vacations. Like we would leave Canada for a month.
You guys will go camping every month.
Yeah, we'll go camping. Yeah, but we also did like 2 trips to Guatemala where we took a month. So I don't know if people in Canada, correct me, maybe somebody watching from Canada, maybe you guys get a month off in Canada, or they probably get taxes the same way we get taxes, income taxes. Maybe that's where they budget to go out and experience life.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they get.
But it seems like Canadians travel.
The Americans?
For sure. Because you hear Canadians all over the place in Europe and everything. So
that is true.
I got a bunch of buddies from back home, Canada, that they just travel a lot. So I'm like, I don't know how they do it financially, but they're doing it. So
You know que nos faltó? Las Filipinas.
oh yeah, Philippines, yeah, like Bali.
Bali.
Well, they say Bali's like so overrated now because a lot of like Americans went to Bali. It's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous, but
Yeah.
But I feel like a
playa.
lot of the similarities between India, Philippines would be the same with like Spanish Latino culture. Like, when we were in Jamaica, it felt like we were kind of in parts of Guatemala, but I mean, I'm Moreno, so it's like totally different. You know what I mean? Like it's completely different. So
Yeah.
unless you go to different places in Guatemala, like Livingston, places where like
Es crazy
sí son
que
morenos.
en Haití sí hablaban, el idioma de Haití está compuesto de francés,
French.
español e inglés.
Yeah, 3 languages to form one. So.
I know.
But how do we know that? Because we traveled to Haiti. So if we never would have known that unless we actually experienced life. So
Yeah.
I feel like if you're watching this from the United States, si estás viendo esto de los Estados Unidos, a lot of us limit like, oh, I really can't do it. And they have those memes nowadays where like, aquí estoy en la playa, bien endeudado, jodido, pero en la playa, like, and it's like, sometimes you have to sacrifice and make those moves, you know what I mean? Like, I just book it and forget about it. And then when it comes, you worry about it then, you know what I mean? So Because if you don't do it, you never will do it.
30 years later, you're still paying for that trip.
Yeah, but if you don't do it, you never do it. You know what I mean?
do it, yeah.
You'll never
I'm
do it.
sorry,
So
Kiko, mira.
yeah, he's got his old Navy sweater on today. He actually looks like one of those Navy dogs.
He has a little thing here, and I'm trying to take it off.
Oh, is it one of those little spikies?
Yeah, I'm trying to take it off.
Yeah. So I combed him yesterday. I thoroughly tried to cut his own hair, but that guy needs to go to a professional groomer again. For
It's
sure.
funny because he already knows when we're going to do a podcast porque se viene a acostar aquí a la par mía.
Yeah, he's like part of the podcast. He doesn't do anything on the podcast. I wish he knew how to change the exposure on the camera. That would be great. Because then he can help us on the switching board. But he basically doesn't do nothing. He lives here rent free, and he's yeah. That's him. That's Kiko. So
So, yeah, definitivamente el dinero, ¿verdad? Pero es algo que uno se tiene que esforzar en ahorrar como familia y tomar el tiempo para hacerlo. Mucha gente no cree en las vacaciones.
yeah, they don't believe in vacation, which
No
they
creen,
should.
no creen que es necesario o simplemente no lo ponen parte de su budget, you know.
They don't make it important.
No lo hacen importante y es muy importante las
Oh,
vacaciones.
we've learned. I mean, nosotros le reclamamos a nuestros hijos y nos reclaman a nosotros. Like, they can never say, like, oh, you guys never took us out. No, we remind them. We're like, hey, remember we went to Colorado? Remember we went to Los Angeles? Remember we went to, Guatemala? Remember we went here? And we tell them this so that way they never reproach us and say, like, you guys never took me anywhere, you know? So,
¿Dónde fuimos? A Roatán, ¿verdad? Roatán estuvo bien hermoso.
yeah, Roatan was
Algo que pudieron ellos
that
experimentar.
was a beautiful experience.
¿Qué
honestly,
más lo
so.
que otro? O fuimos a Cozumel, fuimos a México, ¿verdad? Que ellos también. So, hay varios lugares que todavía nos falta llevarlos, ¿verdad? Que nos encantaría, pero es algo que como familia es necesario hacer, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
La Biblia dice que Jesús descansó, ¿por qué nosotros no podemos descansar?
You were saying
Perdón, Jesús no, Dios descansó.
Yeah, de que alguna gente no cree en las vacaciones. I saw on the website from Harmony of the Seas for Royal Caribbean, somebody says, do you know if they have a church service on Sunday there that we can reunite? And I wrote in the comments, like, take the day off. And then have to put /God. And this is coming from a pastor. I'm like, I'm the one saying, right? So, but I don't blame that person. I actually asked that question when we were on there last time. I'm not going to be hypocritical. I was like, I wonder if there's like a small church service we can kind of do or form our own, you know what I mean? But it's kind of cool idea, but at the same time, you're there to vacation.
Sí, pues.
You're not there for church, you know?
Yeah.
So you're not going to die just because you don't go to church one weekend. So
Exacto.
for us as pastors, it's difficult because we don't have somebody covering, then it's hard, you know. And there was a season where at the beginning we didn't have somebody to cover. So there are seasons of sowing and then there's seasons of reaping. And as I said it in the past, those that are in seasons of reaping, they should bless those that are sowing. Mm-hmm. And right now they're just sometimes there's reaping seasons of sowing and you just can't afford a vacation.
Yeah.
But there's people that don't realize that they can afford a vacation even with the money that they make.
Oh,
It's all mentality.
no.
It's all mentality.
Pero hay mucha gente que tiene.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
when you,
y es que
you know you
como
realize
decimos,
you're broke. You know when you realize you're broke when the person in front of you leaves the receipt at the ATM. You're like, bro, how does this person have $35,000-$40,000 in their bank account? You know, and I'm running negative, this
Yeah.
week for $100.
Listen,
Like, what?
pero no es necesario hacerse esas vacaciones de lujo,
Yeah,
you know.
mini vacations.
Son mini vacaciones. Cuando nosotros
vacations.
fuimos a ¿cómo se llama este lugar? En la frontera,
Ajá.
a Big Bend Park. I mean, eso fue algo maravilloso. Big Bend Park, it's beautiful. No han conocido, vayan a verlo. Big Bend Park aquí en Texas. Es hermoso, las montañas, o sea, todo, ¿verdad? Entonces son mini vacaciones que uno puede tomar. No necesariamente tiene que ir a otro país.
Mhm.
Tú puedes viajar a, I don't know, Miami, or not even, even aquí en Texas, uno puede ir a lugares a conocer con la familia. Es eso de tomar el tiempo
Prioridad.
no, sí, pero
Priorizar.
prioritas.
Prioritize. Prioritize. What's up with our vocabulary? Jeez. We always have words that we cannot say on this podcast.
Prioratizar.
Priorizar.
Algo así. Esos momentos con la familia, es poner a la familia primero, porque ese es tu primer ministerio. Y para que también después los jóvenes, tus niños no terminen alegando, que nunca los sacaste, porque, pero para la iglesia sí, o la iglesia sí tuviste, o para tu trabajo sí.
Pues no digamos la iglesia, porque no todos los que nos miran van a la iglesia, ¿va? Pero
por eso, y
solo
por
de escuela,
tu trabajo.
I mean.
Exacto, por
y a
tu
veces
trabajo.
los niños se van a trabajar. Vi niños, una niña de 12 años y una niña de 14 años tocando en la banda de sus papás. Y tocaba el saxofón amazing, but I'm like, dang, this poor girl, de plano trabaja todos los sábados. Es algo bueno que le están inculcando, pero a la misma vez tienen que enseñarle que hay tiempo para vacaciones. Yeah, it's a little difficult. Honestamente es difícil, ¿va? Para muchas personas, por lo menos en su mente se crean límites que no pueden, just even like como tú dijiste, ir a Florida o ir a a un lugar cerca.
Vienes vacaciones.
Sí, ir guardando $100 o $25 por mes.
Tuvimos una familia que fue a Oklahoma
Ajá.
a ver el arca.
Oh no, that's Arkansas.
Arkansas. Fueron a ver el arca.
Kentucky, way off. We're all way off. We're off
Kentucky.
today. It's Kentucky where they have the Ark of Noah.
Y les encantó.
Yeah, they loved it. It's the experiences that count.
Exacto.
Es las experiencias que cuentan. Because estábamos en Florida with my son and we were paragliding. Que es paragliding? I think it's paragliding. Sí. Where the boat pulls you y estás con el paraglide in a harness. We're watching the hammerhead sharks in the water. And then le digo, wow, Benji, this is a beautiful view. And he said, yeah, it's such a beautiful view. Y después le digo, y lo pensé un momento, I was like, I love you, buddy. And then he started crying, empezó a llorar. And then after I was like, oh, bro, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you scared, pero no te quise hacer, that you get scared. And he's like, no, I'm not scared. I just love you, Dad. And I was like, whoa, we had a little moment there. Me and my son, and he was only like 8 years old, I think, or maybe 8 or 9. So those moments is what makes it count. What is an experience that you remember with our kids that you're like, oh, yeah, we had that experience and we experienced that there?
Cuando nos fuimos al crucero, eso fue algo hermoso. A mí me encantó eso. Cuando estábamos tomando las fotos con la familia y íbamos caminando, and they were just like, so thankful for that moment that we were able to do that, de que los pudimos sacar and they were able to experience that. They were telling me, they were like so grateful for us that we were able to bring them, Estaban muy agradecidos.
Yeah, because the first time we went without them, but like the monkeys was a great experience with them. It was better than the sloths and everything else.
I know.
And then the dolphins. The dolphins was quite an experience because it was beautiful. It poured for like an hour.
Yes.
Rain. Freezing rain. And you, Jonathan, and my sister were out there in the rain waiting for our kids.
It was good.
And I was like in the top like bridge over the dolphins. That's how we were able to get the video, but that was an experience for them,
Oh, yeah.
The rain didn't even matter.
Son experiencias de que nunca se les olvida. It's funny because now todos los años ellos ahora están esperando, they're expecting.
Yeah, they're expecting. They're like, we're going next.
¿A dónde vamos a ir al otro?
We're going next.
Oh, yeah, this is really awkward.
It's a lot of money, buddy. Yeah.
Pero ahora les vamos a empezar a cobrar. No, pero sí es algo muy hermoso que uno tiene que tratar de sacrificarse, ¿verdad? En estilo de ahorrar.
Yes.
En estilo de ahorrar. Tiene que sacrificar y poner eso en su budget para poder hacerlo. Y fíjate que tremendo porque mucha gente dice, ¿verdad? Nosotros no lo hacemos porque nuestros hijos están chiquitos, which is fine. A una edad de los niños muy chiquitos, ellos no se recuerdan. So I think que ya como a la edad de los maybe 7 años, ya es bueno empezar a salir con ellos porque a una edad chiquita los niños no se recuerdan.
Yeah, the thing is, you have pictures. So the kids will be like, hey, I was at Disneyland. Did you hear that story where the mom was pushing the little son at Disneyland? They took a picture. But in that picture, his future wife was in the stroller next to him.
Oh, wow.
And they were both at Disneyland at that moment in different strollers.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
It's kind of cool because you're like never know who you're going to meet. And then on top of that, the experience that counts, like I'm sure in a way psychologically a niño de que está chiquito remember and recall stuff. Because there are people that recall stuff at 4 years old. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
I can't remember what I did yesterday, nonetheless, when I was 4 years old.
Que soy fatal.
But there's little clips, like little small clips in your mind that you remember. You know what I mean? Think about what's the furthest memory you can think of right now. Right now. How far back can you go?
Bueno, sí me recuerdo cuando íbamos mucho a la playa. en Guatemala. Mis papás siempre nos llevaban a la playa.
¿Pero cuántos años? So what year?
Oh, I was probably 7.
7?
I was probably 7. Me recuerdo que teníamos que cruzar para ir a la playa en una lancha, pero estaba lloviendo. So nos fuimos a poner debajo de una casa y me recuerdo que mi mamá llevaba sándwiches de pollo. Esa ensalada de pollo que mi mamá hace, qué rico.
Yeah.
Y estábamos comiendo sándwiches de pollo mientras la lluvia, se iba. Y ya después otra vez retomábamos la lancha. Me recuerdo de esa memoria. Me recuerdo ir a una casa de la playa de unos amigos de mis papás. Y siempre estábamos ahí en esa casa en la playa. Me recordaba montar las motos acuáticas. I remember that. I remember.
Yeah, see, I was probably about the same age when we went to camping and we threw up because of the old gumballs and the gumball machine and the Pet Modismo. I still remember the stuff like that, but maybe further, I don't know if I remember. I still have childhood memories like of in Guatemala, cuando en la cuadra everybody got into like soapbox racing. So like everybody was building their carritos out of wood and stuff.
Yeah.
And we made our looks like a Lamborghini and we're using, llantas de la carreta. So we're looking at cojinetes. That's why I know what cojinetes are because my dad was like, tienen que encontrar unos cojinetes, which is the little pelotitas that make the thing go round. And we built this little awesome Lamborghini with Alexei. And then the little kid that was next to us, he's a poor kid that his dad would cut leña for a living. We left it to him. And I want to say his name was Marito. And I was like, it was like como si le regalamos un Lamborghini de verdad. Nos venimos y le dimos el Lamborghini a él. It was black. We had painted it. Le pusimos una cola. It looked like a little Lamborghini. It was amazing.
That's so cool.
It was so cool. Pero se lo dimos and he was just like, muchas gracias, mucha. He's like, les agradezco muchos. And I was just like, it was amazing. It's one of the best days of my life to be able to think, to be able to... Yeah, those childhood memories, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, son memorias que, como te digo, que uno como padres tiene que tratar de hacerlo con sus hijos, you know. Hemos tenido jóvenes que nos han dicho gracias por hacer esto, por sacarnos, porque nuestros papás, ¿verdad?, no tienen la oportunidad, pero yo creo que si tú lo haces, lo puedes lograr hacer.
Yeah.
Lo que pasa es que la gente no lo mira como necesario.
Yeah, they don't see it like necessary, como si fuera algo,
Que no,
Pero
no
lo
es
miran como una
necesario.
prioridad.
Sí,
And they
no.
should.
Ajá, lo deberían de tomar en cuenta y sí, así mis papás siempre nos sacaban. Nosotros teníamos una granja en Guatemala, me recuerdo. We had a farm. Yo me subía al caballo y movía las vacas de un terreno. Y me recuerdo comer fruta. Oh, it was so good. Son cosas que, como te digo, son cosas que sí es necesario. Mucha gente no lo mira, necessary. Pero son memorias que se crean los niños.
Yeah, they stay forever. So, but then after going back to the financial part, let's just talk about changing the topic now. Money, because money does have to do with travel, of course, right? But money, one of the things I want to talk about, I read this the other day. It says las personas con la mentalidad de pobreza quieren todo gratis, todo regalado, todo masticado, y a veces ni siquiera cuando se los regalan lo valoran. What do you think about that statement?
Yeah, definitivamente que sí.
Yeah.
Yo creo que va mucho a nuestra cultura, que todo lo quieren barato. Ahí sí, como dice el dicho, va bueno, bonito y barato.
Yeah.
Pero no existe. Ahí sí hay otro dicho que dice, ¿verdad? You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
¿Verdad? Entonces, es muy sacar esa mentalidad. Si quieres algo bueno, obviamente te va a costar.
Yeah, with business is different, man, porque mucha gente compra bajo y lo vende caro. I mean, en parte el negocio es un negocio, that's business, right? But I had a amigo, he was trying to sell me a DJ thing. He was like, oh, yeah, mi amigo va a pagar los 1,000. And I was like, ese equipment usado, vos pagaste 1,500. Me lo querés vender a mí a 1,500. ¿Hace cuántos años atrás? And now, no lo quieres vender when the value is really like $1,000. So it's like, come on, it's just like, I mean, business, it's different. I kind of understand that, pero ya cuando buscan todo regalado, es una mentalidad de pobreza, like, que nunca voy a lograr esto, like, o miramos, es demasiado caro. O por conseguir cosas baratas, no salen caro. You know what I mean? Yo tengo algo. Cuando yo miro algo barato, miro algo caro, siempre voy para el del medio. Because it's the value pack.
Sí, pues.
No es muy caro, te va a doler. and then muy barato where it's like, esta cosa no va a servir. It's just right in the middle. But what do we do when it's just expensive or cheap?
Exactly.
Might as well go expensive, right? Because then after, it's like anything. You could just put that to anything, like a mask, a scuba diving mask. You find a scuba diving mask for cheaper, but it's going to leak water. So really, does it do its purpose? ¿Hace tu propósito? No. Mejor gastar un poquito más y te va a hacer, it's going to fit you comfortable.
Ajá,
So,
sí.
pero he visto también en el negocio que la gente que paga menos demanda más. They really do. It's just like that. It's just like the clients that we have that they pay less money. They're just on top of us. They're just, why is that? Why do you think that is? That people are like that?
Porque they expect the same service if you were to pay, a good amount.
No, but you don't understand that the people that are paying more amount are more patient. They're just patient people. So it's like, could it be that que la gente que paga más tienen más recursos porque han aprendido cosas en la vida? Yo digo, por ejemplo, esta es la primera vez que lo digo públicamente, pero los frutos del espíritu son buenísimos para cuando tiene que ver con el dinero y lo que es las finanzas y negocio. I think the fruits of the spirits are great. Like in a business, do you need patience? Oh, absolutely. Do you need benignidad? Yes. ¿Qué más con los frutos hay? Paz. Oh, you need peace. Even though, you may not get paid till next week, you have to have peace. You know what I mean? So it's like, creo que los frutos is good for mentalidad. Y ese es el secreto que nos pone, hablando de business, más avanzado que los demás, los frutos del espíritu. Because honestly, I think they really do have to do a lot with. Not only talk about money, but success. Success, escribí algo el otro día, maybe you can comment on this. Success is not the amount of followers or money you make, but rather an inner peace by serving Christ and others. And it's finding a sustainable way to do what you love. What do you think about this?
What do you think about it?
Well, I love it. That's why I wrote it.
Oh, you wrote it?
Well, I kind of stole the concept of somebody, but I made it my own.
What do you think?
Like, they didn't add a Christ in there. I added Christ in there. What do I think? Mm-hmm. It's success is not the amount of money or followers. Yes. Many people base their level of success. Like I heard Peter McKenna is the person that taught me everything in photography in YouTube. And he says, when I reached, 1 million followers, I was like, oh, great. Now I reached 1 million followers, and then he grew to a point where he was still like, he grew frustrated, and I was having mental health struggles and breakdowns, anxiety attacks, because it wasn't fulfilling. The people were demanding, for example, for his YouTube channel to be about something. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. We're so broad and open too that people might be like, we don't even know what we're going to get when we're listening to Heido and Jamie. But you can almost guarantee that it's going to be something that has to do with faith, with family. And then after also, positive outlook to life, because I hope we're not negative. So he got frustrated. So it's definitely not the amount of followers. Like, I feel like you gain 1 million followers, you're still the same person. You know what I mean? You have more impact and more influence, but...
Yeah, but what is the point of the followers?
What's the point of the followers?
Yeah.
Well, more followers
Why do
also
people make it such a big deal?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's a good question. Why do you think in the comments that people make such a big deal about how many followers you have? Yeah, and I've seen in people's face where like they see our Creative Lab Studios Instagram page and they're like, oh man, you guys got 17,000 followers. Like, you guys are somebody, like then people follow you. And I'm like, doesn't mean anything to us. But they don't see how we also get those followers. That we're constantly like, hey, follow our page. But
what is the point?
The point really is with social media, when you grow followers, it's good because then you're impacting more people at once. For example, you're about to open a new business. So I'm about to post your business on our page, and I'm reaching 20,000 as opposed to reaching just 5 people. You get it? Mm-hmm. You get it? I think that's the only reason of having followers. You just reach more people. It's incredible because I'm thinking biblically,
yeah.
How Jesus said, you would do greater things. And we were talking about the other day, the miracle of Jesus. He fed 16,000 people. Well, now you can feed with a mental thought more than 16,000 people. I can literally go on my Instagram right now, throw something out there, and 16,000 people saw it.
But I think that you don't necessarily need followers in order for your business to be big. I think that
successful. That's true.
I think that if ¿cómo te puedo decir? Si tú estás poniendo a Dios primero, God is going to make your business, a blessing.
Yeah.
Es como mi trabajo. Mi trabajo, they don't post anything on social media.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't. And we are one of the best pediatricians
In the area.
in
yes.
the area. And that's because
agree with
why? Because people know how we are. There's no need to,
Post.
publicize. Exacto.
Publicize that.
I think that if you're the best at what you do,
Yeah.
it's going to be known.
Yeah. Well, the
You
thing
don't
is,
need like all that,
they've also reached a point in their business where they're not trying to expand. Because if they were trying to expand, then they would actually put more time into making their social media more effective. Because your social media followers can turn into possible clients. And speaking business wise, right? That's why it's so important when you do grow your social media that it's organic, que sea orgánico, with people that are actually going to turn into clients, not some dude in India. You know what I mean?
But I
It's
think
just
if they were wanting to expand, they could do it right now.
they could probably do it, yeah.
I mean, there's people that wait for appointments a month, 2
Yeah,
months, So if they wanted to expand,
They probably could hire another set of doctors. And
they can open another office and they will have no problem. People think, hay gente que piensa que tenemos otras oficinas en Austin.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, this is the only location we have.
Wow, yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. That's just me because I'm so anti
Social media.
media. Yeah, it just sometimes I'm even looking at social media, and my El Espíritu Santo is like, stop watching that. So I would just I can like ya no puedo.
Yeah.
Because then my mind starts thinking, oh, I wish I could be doing this. I wish I could be like her. I wish I could have this. So automáticamente mi Espíritu Santo me dice, let it go, leave it alone. So that's when I rather watch movies rather than watching the social media,
Yeah.
because it's so killing to your self.
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Yeah, self-esteem, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I know social media definitely. We talked about this so many times that it's absolutely not correct. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the truth. It's not reality. Social media is not reality. We know this, right? So, but I do feel like having followers can bring you success in a certain way because it could up your business. But you're right. I've seen people grow with no social media and people grow with social media. So there's a difference. You can grow with both.
Yeah. And then, like you said,
Sorry to interrupt you, but like, for example, you hear of a food blogger goes to a pizza joint and the pizza joint never had a good recognition, but it's the best pizza he's ever had. All of a sudden, all these people from the following of the food blogger are going to that pizza place and actually buying, and it's converting into sales. So I'm telling you, social media has the power. We've already said it's a blackboard that anybody can write on, and social media also has pros and cons, and it can be used for good and for evil. And sometimes it's more evil than good, but the honest truth, it's a good resource sometimes. It really is.
it is.
Yeah. I was thinking about that with the church being like, they say consider it a business, sort of. English church, because we don't have growth right now at the moment. And I'm like, crazy because in ministry, I feel like there's God's, he gives the growth. Like I asked one of our apostles one time, he was like, how do you get growth, church growth? And he says, real simple answer, God gives the growth. I was like, okay, that wasn't complicated at all. But yeah, so it's like God brings the growth, but at the same time, you also have to do the social media so that people can know about your church. And but more than social media is word of mouth. You know what I mean? We got into a whole business topic that's completely different than money because I really wanted to talk about money. Money, for those of you, I have a saying in Spanish and I say it in English now, money is a blessing in your pocket, but it's a malice in your heart. El dinero es una bendición en tu bolsa, pero es una maldito en tu corazón.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
El dinero es bendito en tu bolsa, pero maldito en tu corazón. So, but yeah, that's about money. But what do you think about a misconception about money? ¿Qué crees que what do you think about money in general? What's your outlook on money?
Yo creo que la gente piensa que al tener mucho dinero son felices. Pero la mayoría de gente que tiene dinero son bien
Amargados.
amargados o no son felices. I mean,
Yeah.
lo podemos ver, en toda esta gente famosa, Obviamente que no tiene a Jesús en su corazón, right? Pero es como dices tú, ¿verdad? El dinero es algo que es muy, muy, es un tópico muy tremendo porque la gente que obtiene quiere más y quiere más y quiere más y nunca están contentos con lo que tienen y quieren más y quieren más y no se dan cuenta que el dinero no los hace felices, you know. A veces decimos, ¿verdad? Yo quisiera tener dinero para tener eso, pero Dios sabe por qué no te lo ha dado. Tal vez porque no estás preparado para tenerlo, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Pero el dinero sí es algo muy...
I think one of those things is obviously you want to build assets so you can live comfortably. I mean, and not have to worry about money. Obviously, the biblical response is Pablo says, sé lo que es vivir en abundancia en escasez, and I'm happy with either. I'm happy with either being blessed financially or not blessed financially. I found peace in both because the human necessity is the same. Like if you go and you're broke, if we leave today and we go to France and we might be rich over there. You never know. We might gain a business and be rich. Or you might just be regular average folk over there. Or maybe even then the poor. But to me, it's really the same. The days that we go eat like in Austin and we just decided to go to a really, really nice restaurant and it's 150 for both of us, right? Which we don't do often. We're not those kind of people.
No.
We don't think we're doing this every week, right? But when we've done that, we've been to a couple nice ones before, right? Mm-hmm. It's no different eating huevos there than eating huevos at
your house.
A house. It's literally the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. It's just the environment. So money
it's just the fact that you're not doing it.
Yeah, so even the environment. And obviously the environment with people with money is annoying sometimes too because we were at a networking event and they were like, oh, everybody in here is a Fortune 500 company, you know what I mean? That's what they're talking about. And they're like, everybody's, a lot of big names and big money is going to be here today. And I'm like, that's great. But when you meet them, a lot of those people are more humble than poor people, honestly, to start with. They're more humble.
I hate that.
But then you also have some people that are not humble at all. Like their money shows, like they're just being jerks. Like they just look down on you. I walked into this networking event and that guy was just a straight douchebag. He was just like, oh, I'm going to need you to take pictures here. And by the way, I'm going to need you to do video. And I was like, sorry, we weren't really contracted for video today. It's more photos. But he's like, yeah, I'm going to need a video too and stuff. I'm like, already bossing me. And then after he doesn't know who I am, what business I have or anything, right? And
that bothers me a lot.
That's the worst. That's the worst. I think it's worse to have, I don't know which is worse. A person that has money and treats people like crap or a person that has no money and treats people with crap. Mm-hmm. I really don't know what's worse. I feel like still like they're both bad. You know what I mean? I actually like rich people with respect to others. I respect people more like that than poor people that don't have no money and treat people with no respect. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because think about it. Think about this for a minute. Like I heard this say one time too. And then we're only speaking of what we know, right? That rich people actually help more people than poor people. Because poor people just criticize all the time, like, él es rico, ¿por qué no darle a los pobres? But you don't give anything. Mm-hmm. You don't ever do anything. So, like, why are you complaining? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I only make, $50,000 a year. Okay, then give 5,000 from that 50 grand. Give the 10% to homeless or something. No, I can't do that. You see? What difference does it make from a billionaire that has a company? And that's why being a business owner, I understand this. That sometimes those people that own the business, sometimes they can be more broke than the employees that are working for them. Mm-hmm. Because, like, they're investing. You see these millionaires and they're millionaires, but what you don't see is that they have humongous debts. They have their debts. Like, they have millions of dollars with loans and with banks. You know what I mean? So it's like, just because somebody looks like they're rich doesn't mean they're actually rich. Yeah. Especially in this country.
Yeah.
I went down a rabbit hole on that one.
A mí me molesta cuando te tratan diferente por lo que tienes. Me molesta. O por lo que eres.
Yeah.
Me enchina la piel.
Oh, yeah. Same
me enchina la piel. A mí me da risa cuando uno dice...
Neither one of us were raised that way, that's why.
Es like, todos venimos de un lugar y todos...
Vamos al mismo lugar.
¿Viste
lo que publiqué, va? Que la mansión y la casita chiquita, todos vamos a la tierra. Uh-huh. And then after lo que hablamos ahí es, Pablo dijo, nadie tenga más alto concepto de sí. Nobody think more of themselves. You're poor or rich, you're still going into a hole into the dirt.
Es cuando da risa porque cuando dicen, oh, yo soy la esposa del pastor. Oh,
Oh,
like, que me
oh,
hubieras
tu
tratado diferente
posición, tu
si yo
posición.
no hubiera dicho eso.
Oh,
Me
my gosh, that's
molesta
annoying.
tanto. Me enchina. Es algo que
Yeah.
it's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate it with passion.
And obviously with money comes power, right? And people love, sometimes it's not even about the money. Sometimes it's about the power. I'm going to slap in the face here and pastors in the face. But we've had events where where the pastor comes up and his name's not on the list. Oh, pero yo soy pastor, yo soy aquí, yo soy... And sometimes you have those pastors that have been so used to telling everybody what to do that they're just expecting to be on. Dude, you remember you're a human being too, you know what I mean? I want to say this publicly, but recently it happened where I at this event with Marcos Weed, I thought I had the gentleman that was organizing, long story short, he called me and said, I want you to organize it. It didn't work out the way I wanted to. Somebody else helped them to get the location. So when I went, I was like, yeah, I'm coming with so-and-so. He's organizing an event. And they were like, your name's not on the list. I was like, oh, okay, my name's not on the list. That's fine. I was like, that's cool. So I was like, I guess I'll just wait to see if he responds. And sure enough, he responded, and he was just like, oh, yeah, where you at? Like, I told him I'm here. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, let me see. Are you by the kiosk? And I guess he got busy or whatever that day. Ya no me atendió. So it's like, that's a reason to get butthurt. It's a big reason to get butthurt. And ask me, you know me, you're my wife. Do you think I got butthurt? Maybe she's thinking a little bit. Maybe she's thinking a little bit or not.
You did?
But I didn't. No, I actually didn't. Honestly, I didn't. First of all, because I already met Marcos Weed. So, man, I'm a one-time kind of guy. Like, I meet somebody for the first time. Like, the second time around, it's not the same. The excitement is the very first time you meet somebody. Because you're like, I never met this person. And tell the experience about when you met him, when you met Marcos Weed. That was funny. What did he say to you? He said, hola, yo soy Marcos Weed. What did you say?
I don't remember.
Oh, babe, come on. You're killing me now. You're making me look
Oh,
bad.
man, I don't remember.
Remember, he was like, we were in Crypto, and he came up to you and said, hola, yo soy Marcos Weed. You said, pues obvio.
Oh, but Crypto Arena.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sí, sí,
You
sí,
were like,
sí.
was obvio you're Marcos
I
Weed.
know.
Obviously, we all know.
I know. He's like, hola, soy Marcos Weed.
Yo, Marco, if you don't know who
Nah,
Marcos,
really, dude?
if you don't know who Marcos Weed is, he's a famous Christian singer in the Spanish world. So it's like everybody knows him because he's like
Everybody, yeah, he's an
1990s.
OG.
Yeah, he's an OG. Yeah, it's hilarious though. So anyway, but it was funny because I was in the parking lot waiting for the response, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna head home. Sure enough, guess who pulls in? Marcos Weed, and he just passes. I'm just like, and then I just left.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a big thing. You know what I mean? But anyways, when it comes to power, money and power, it just I always say it. Money always manifests who you truly are. So like right now, you know how you get that? Like here's a perfect example, and this is real with authenticity, right? We go on vacation. We always fully enjoy that vacation, or are we worried about little things?
What do you mean?
I mean, okay. So let me say it in a better example.
I don't know what you mean.
We go on vacation, right? And do you still have fights on vacation? Yes.
Yes.
Do you still have, moments where you feel sick? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have moments that you feel depressed, even on vacation? Yes. So that's what I'm saying, though. Like, even if you're rich and you have money to travel the whole world, you could still go to the ends of the earth and still feel like crap and depressed because peace is not going to come from vacationing and money and having power. It's going to come from having inner peace with Christ. Now I'm getting preachy up in this joint, but it's like, it's going to come from being with Christ. You know what I mean? It's not going to come from all these material things. You know what I mean? They say money can't buy happiness. It can buy temporary happiness.
Lo que pasa es que sí, lo que pasa es que tenemos que diferenciar el gozo que Dios nos da,
Yeah.
lo que el mundo te ofrece.
Yeah, that's true.
Es totalmente diferente.
Yeah.
Es como dice Redimido, ¿verdad? El gozo que yo tengo, tú no me lo diste. So
Yeah.
nadie me lo puede quitar.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
You know?
Yeah, that joy, it comes from the Lord. You know what I mean? So joy is different than happiness. You know what I mean? Because joy is something that comes from the Lord. Happiness just comes from, it could just be a
It's an
temporary.
emotion.
It's an emotion. And honestly, the honest truth, like, could money buy happiness? Like, I would know if I give you $1 million right now, what was the first thing you'd do? $1 million, by the way, $1 million is like, I laugh. Like, I wouldn't even think, like, if I had $250,000 right now, I would still laugh because it's still like, that's nothing nowadays. It's nothing.
I get
I
paid.
can't let you live literally past like 3 years.
I get paid 150 to go do this thing. Le tengo que dar 50 a Kaylee, 50 a su amiguita que se va con ella. Yo me quedo con 50 que es para comprarles comida y para ni me alcanza para el gas. So it's nothing.
I literally pumped gas yesterday and bought some stuff from like Dollar General. It was like $160.
I went to H-E-B, gasté 140 y no compré carne, no compré nada para la casa. I'm like, and I'm telling the girl at H-E-B, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, inflation. It's inflation.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely nuts.
It's crazy.
So it's
Pero
just,
yeah, el dinero
yeah.
is just, you know.
Well, dinero definitely manifests who you are, though. Like, you've been around people that have money. I love it because I'm a kind of person that I love being with both tribes. I love being with the no money tribe and then the money tribe. It's good to have both friends in those areas. And I've seen, obviously, like friends that do have money. If you don't have the money, it's hard to keep up with their lifestyle. But then after friends that don't have money, I don't like their mentality because their mentality usually is the reason why they're there. You know, they're still, most of them are very, the poor people usually their mentality is not where you want to be. You know, they're very negative. I've noticed a lot about that. Not everybody. Don't,
That's what I was going to say.
Please don't misinterpret me. Please don't misinterpret
Not everybody.
me. Not everybody.
They can just be okay with what they have.
Yeah, and they're content with what they have. But it's funny, have you ever heard that saying, and we'll probably be finishing up here soon, but have you ever heard that story of a man goes to a village and he sees a fisherman and he says, oh, this is cool. You catch fish per day and everything. He's like, yeah, I usually, go out in the morning, come back 1, 2, and then just spend the rest of the day with my family. And he's like, and the man that came and said that, he's like, well, I'm a businessman, we can help you grow your company, and so you can make more money. You can make more fishermen go out there with more boats. And then, and then after when you build the company up, then you can be getting more fish coming in, more money coming in. And then you could spend time with your family at night. He's like, that's basically the same thing I'm doing now, except I have more freedom now. I'm working because he's thinking about like, okay, so we build these huge companies, but still it's going to take me away for time for my family. So it's like, am I really losing and gaining? Mm-hmm. So everything has a balance. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything has a balance. It's hard to keep that balance sometimes. We might be guilty of that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're starting up a new business right now. You're going to know what that's like. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's time consuming. It's time consuming, So, yeah. So, but I'm trying to think what else we could say about money. I also want to say that money manifests who you are. So, for example, like I tell people now, like if a man is cheating on his wife now, then when he has money, you think that that's not going to manifest into cheating more on his wife? More, of course that's going to, that's going to happen because it's really manifesting who he is. Sí, pues. If a person's a liar, they're just going to turn into a millionaire liar. If a person's a thief, they're going to be turned into a millionaire thief. And then they won't be, if a person has no peace right now and has a spirit of avaricia, que quiere acumular riquezas, that just wants to accumulate riches, greed, a spirit of greed, as he gets money, it's just going to grow that greed inside that person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he's just going to be more greedy. He's going to be like, I'm not content with being a millionaire. Now I got to be a billionaire. You know what I mean? And he'll never have peace in his heart. So it's always chasing after the wind. You know what I mean? But you still haven't answered. What's the one, what's a couple of things you would do if you did have, he did give you $2 million?
Oh, man. Pagaría las deudas. Definitivamente haría o construiríamos la iglesia bien, casa para tus papás, para mis papás, y si podemos pagar las deudas de tus papás también. Y definitivamente me gustaría crear una comunidad, like mini houses, para gente que viene de otros países y necesita un lugar para quedarse, para ayudarles, unos 6 meses para que se levanten, Definitivamente me gustaría tener un terreno solo para eso. And yeah. Pretty much it.
That's cool. If it was someone to ask me that, I think the one thing I would do for sure is obviously everything you said. First and foremost, give it to God, which is build a beautiful church for people to serve in. Also, pay the debts of our parents, make sure they're taken care of. Our brothers might get in there as well, depending on how much we like them. No, I'm just kidding. And then after, obviously, build albergues de niños y ancianos allá en diferentes países too. Mm-hmm. That's another good one too. I think just helping people, But we're already doing that locally at a level where if we might be, I don't know what we're considered. Somebody have to look at us, see what we make a year, and put us in a category whether we're middle class or poor class. I don't know. It just depends. I don't know. We have to look up the average because I think they were saying let's look that up before we finish off today.
For what?
Considered middle class or low class in America?
What's your point?
What's my point? No, I just want to know how much do you have to make to be considered middle class? Those earning between 2/3 of twice median Americans' household incomes in 2021 was 70,000 according to U.S. States Bureau. That means that American households earning as little as 47 up to 141,000 a year technically are middle class.
Yeah, we're middle class.
Okay, so we're middle class citizens. Hello, just want to inform you, all us middle class citizens. No, I thought it was more. I thought the bar was higher. I thought the bar was like 100,000 for middle class, but apparently we're middle class. I did not know that. I thought maybe in United States the poverty line was a little higher, but I guess it's not. So middle class, 47 to 141,000 a year. You're middle class. To be considered rich, you got to do over like 200,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So.
Yeah.
Interesting facts about money. Interesting facts about travel today. That was pretty much today's podcast, Viviendo Life podcast. I don't think you have anything else you want to say or no.
Vacation. Take time off.
Yeah.
Vacacionen. Tomen tiempo libre con su familia. Háganlo una prioridad en sus vidas, en su budget. Háganlo una prioridad para que puedan disfrutar con su familia. Háganlo algo necesario. Cada año traten de hacerlo.
There you go. And money is a blessing in your pocket, but also malice in your heart. Money's not everything in this life. It sure isn't. I know a lot of people that leave priorities in their life for money, and priorities in their life should be God or family. It shouldn't be money. You know what I mean? Because money, you'll either lack it all your life, or if you have enough, you might not feel like you still have enough and be chasing after the wind. So, which is vanity, speaking Solomon in the Bible. So, I be content with what we have, whether it's little or much. Enjoy it. You know what I mean? And
Everybody
with respect. Yes. If you're a rich person, don't be a douche. If you're a poor person, don't be a douche. If you're a rich person, be a nice and humble person. If you're a rich person, here's my advice to you. Help poor people that are in sowing season. And if you're a poor person or a middle class citizen like us, use the little that you have and bless people with that too. And be nice, because nobody likes a mean poor person. We're out. I feel like we actually gave advice today. Like, hey, we'll see you guys later.
Bye. 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 Bye.